Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. As I mentioned, we're going to have two chapters today, Surah Al Alaq that we had it in the first section, and now we're going to have Surah Al Asr. Surah Al Asr also has only one paragraph, and it has three verses. The first verse is swear, and then the second verse is the answer for that surah, and then the third verse is a exception about that general law that we are going to read it and be more familiar with it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the entirely beneficent, the ever merciful. Wal Asr, by the time. This is swear, and it means swear by the time. When we see there is a swear, it means there is important point that God wants to emphasize on it, and we are familiar with the swear now. We know that when there is a swear, it means people are heedless of something. They don't care about something very important, and God wants to emphasize on it, and God wants to warn people about something very important. So it says, well, as sure by the time. There are many different interpretation about this verse. I don't want to go through them. There are many of them. Some of them says that this is swearing by the time of the Prophet, the era of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some of them said this is about future, and this is the era of the Imam Mahdi appearance at the end of the time, and there are many of these interpretation. What we do in Tadabbur is keep reading these verses and then find out which of these interpretation makes more sense based on the whole concept of the chapter. When we go to the next verse and the next verses, we can make a decision and select one of or two of those or three of those interpretation which is more related to the other verses and make more sense based on the whole concept of the chapter. So we don't want to make decision now. We don't know what is accurate meaning of the surah by the time. Let's keep reading based on the next verse. Then we can understand it much easier. The next verse, إن الإنسان لفي خسر. Indeed, the human is in loss. And at the beginning of this verse is for emphasizing, and it means indeed. Also, this verse is like a second clause, the second part of the swear clause. When there is a swear, then there should be something to emphasize on it. So there is another emphasize because it is the reply to the swear. Also, there is la at lafi khosr, which is for emphasizing. When we say lafi, la is for emphasizing. So there are three emphasize on this verse, and it means indeed, for sure, certainly, the human is in loss. And it means this is very important that God put so many emphasis on this verse to make us aware about something very important, to tell us that you have to be aware, you are in loss, all human. This is al-insan, and it means all human. We're all in loss. What is loss? I translated khosr into loss. Khosr means when we lost the capital. For example, if I have some money, if I invest my money on something and I expected to have some benefits, if that benefits is lower than what I expected, I can say that I lost some benefits, but still my capital is there and I still have the that money that I invested. That is my capital and I still have my capital. On that situation, I can say I only lost a part of the benefits that I expected. But sometimes I lose the main money that I invested. In this case, we say this is khosr. Khosr means loss in the capital. It means the money that I invested, I lost that money. So, and I have nothing. This verse is telling us about a fact, and it's telling us that the human is in loss. What kind of a loss? We have to consider the first verse and second verse together to understand, to have a better understanding. Time in the first verse that is mentioning and got surah to it, it's actually our life. This is our time. When the time is passing, it means our life is passing and we are aging. And it means we are wasting our capital. This is our capital. My time is my life. And when I waste my time, when I lost my time, it means my capital is wasting. And in this case, all human, by passing their time, actually they are wasting their capital. And this is a fact for all of us. This is a general fact, and we cannot stop it. This is a fact. We cannot stop the time. We cannot stop our life, and time is passing. And when the time is passing, it means we are uh, wasting our time. And this is a general law for all of us. There is only one exception, that if we do that, in this case, our time and our capital is not wasting, and it's investing it in something very valuable. For example, when I have money, if I invested in something wrong, in a wrong way, and if I lost my money, if I lost my capital, that is wasting my capital. But if I invested in something valuable, to buy something really valuable, in this case, I would say that I invested my money and I had many benefits of it, and my capital is not lost. And even I bought something more valuable than what I had before. This is the same about our time and about our life. If we put our time in something very valuable, if I spend my time to learn something valuable, to get something valuable, in this case, it's not wasting the time. Actually, I invested my time in something valuable and I get something really valuable. And what is that thing that is valuable to invest our time on it? It's actually mentioned in the third verse, and it says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. This is the exception, and it's going to tell us that the human is in loss. This is a general law for everyone except this group, except for those who believed and did righteous deeds and accepted advice to truth and accepted advice to be patient. This exception is related to the second verse. At the second verse, it says that this is a general law for all of you. The human is in loss, except those people who believe. Believe is enough? No. Believe and did righteous deeds. When we do believe, it's not enough. We have to do righteous deeds based on what we do believe in it. So believing and doing righteous deeds, these two important fields are something that when we invest our time on them, we are not losing and we are not wasting our capital. These are very valuable fields that we can invest our time on it. Plus, those who accepted advice to truth and accepted advice to be patient. These are two specific deeds. And actually, the first one, believing and doing righteous deeds, these are two general field, and after that it's talking about two specific things. Mentioning something specific after a general things is for highlighting those two specific things. It wants to bold them to tell us that those are very important. There are many in general, there are many righteous deeds, but among all of them, God wants to emphasize two specific things, to bold them, to tell us these are very valuable. Why? Because if I want to believe, if I want to be a truth believers, I have to accept advice from those people who know what is the real believing. I cannot personally figure out everything about believing and righteous deeds. I need people to help me, like the teachers, like the Islamic scholars. I need them to help me. Our parents, our friends, they can help us. And when they are advising us about the truth and advising us to be patient, we have to accept them. So these two specific things, accepting advice to truth and patience, these are actually supporting the belief and the righteous deeds. If I want to be a good believers, if I want to have good righteous deeds, I have to listen to those people who are trying to help me. And the first one is accepting their advice to truth, because I personally cannot understand everything about the believing, everything about the righteous deed. I need their help. Plus, going to the path of God is difficult. If I want to be a good believer, if I want to do all of those righteous deeds, if I want to do all of those praise, fasting, helping poor people, all of these are difficult. And I have to be patient. Sometimes it's really difficult for me and it's out of my abilities. In this situation, people when they are talking to me and when they are advising me to be patient, you'll be rewarded on the other life. In this kind of kind talk, I should listen to them and I should accept them, because this kind of advices are actually supporting the belief and righteous deeds. So this verse was actually a exception about that general law which was mentioned in the second verse. In general, these three verses wanted to tell us about something important that we are heedless of it, and it's about the time when it's passing. The time is passing and we are in loss. We have to be very careful about it. We frequently hear that people said, time is gold, and we believe that time is gold. And when time is gone, we cannot have it back. And this is our life. And but we don't have a good actually a lifestyle that we can say, I am using all of my time. No, we waste many of our time. We do watching movies, watching games, doing long shopping, and many of those things that we do. These are actually wasting our time, and wasting time means we are wasting our life. And our life is very important and very valuable, and it's gonna happen only one time. Everyone who born in this life, this world, have a limited time. And the scary part is we don't know how limited it is. I don't know for how long I would be in this life, like 45 years, 55 years, 60 years, for how long? This is not clear for us. We just know that we're going to have a life here, and this is a limited time. And time is gold, and we have to try to use it in the best way. And if we don't use it, we are wasting our capital. Our capital is our time, and we have to invest it on something um, valuable. What is that valuable thing? God is helping us in the third verse and telling us that if you spend your time to be a good believers, to do righteous deeds and accept the advices to truth and patience, then you are actually passing your time in a good way, because by passing your time, you are get something really valuable, like being a good believers. Unfortunately, we are heedless about this important fact, and every year in our birthday, we are happy. We bought a cake and we invite our friend to have a party, and everyone's saying, "Yay! Oh, happy birthday!" and stuff like that. And this is probably the most ridiculous things that we are doing about our life. We are wasting our time and we are happy for wasting one more year. We have to think about it actually in our birthday, and not only in our birthday once a year. No, we have to keep thinking about it every day, every night. If it's not possible, at least every week. We have to check and we have to review what I did in this week that I passed, that the past, and we have to check it to see if I spend my time in something valuable or not. And this chapter generally is very important about our lifestyle, and it's helping us to think more about our time, although we all believe that time is gold and we keep saying it, but we are generally heedless of it. We keep forgetting it, and we have many habits for wasting time. We have to try to correct them, and we have to try to spend our time, which is our capital, to invest our capital, to invest our time on something valuable. So if we want to review those three questions, The first question, what was the important reason that God sent down this chapter? People are heedless of their time and passing their time, and they are wasting their time on valuable things. And how God tried to actually heal this sickness. God swore by the time to tell us that time is very valuable, and told us that time is your capital. By passing the time, you are wasting your capital, and you have to be aware of it. And you have to know that if you invest your capital, if you invest your time on something valuable, then it is not lost anymore. And this is a good way to use your time. And what is the important point that God wanted to take us there? The important point that this chapter wants to emphasize on it was this fact: the human is in loss. As the time passes, human's life, as his capital disappears, and he is in loss. He is in loss because the capital is going away. Except those who believe, do righteous deeds, and accept each other's advice to truth and patience. So this was the actually main topic that this chapter wanted to emphasize. And as although it was very short, but it's very valuable, and we have to keep reading and keep reminding this important fact that my time is my life and it's my capital. And when it's gone, it's gone. I cannot have it back. I cannot stop the time. The only way that I can use it in a successful way is spending it and investing it in something valuable. That valuable thing is increasing my believing, and to be more connected with the Quran, try to be a good believers, try to do more righteous deeds. Thank you so much for being with us. And this was actually the second chapter that we had today. We will have two chapters again next week. I hope to see you all again next week. Bye.